Welcome to Rick Rack Ruby. I'm Laura Cluvo. Today we will be making this felt and fabric angel featuring the Hometown Holiday Fabric Collection. She's fun and easy, so let's get started. For this design, we're going to stick with this Hometown Holidays fabric. I just pulled out this little sweet print. It's very pastelish, very subtle. I have also cut a 6-inch square of this Heat and Bond Ultra. I'm going to fuse this to the back of the fabric, and then I'll use my die cutting machine to cut out this scalloped circle. And while I have it out, I'm also going to cut out a scalloped circle for the wings from my pink wool felt. And I've also cut out a 6-inch circle from the petal pink wool felt. So let me get this prep done and I'll be right back. Okay, I have ironed my Heat and Bond Ultra Hold onto the back of this fabric, and I'm going to use my die cutter to cut out this scallop circle. The scallop circle is from Spellbinders Grand Nestabilities LF249, but you don't have to use this exact thing. Just do a search for scalloped circle dies and you should find something that'll work. The smaller size is also Spellbinders Nestabilities. That's for the wings. The wings are about 3 3/8 across. That's pretty specific. And then for the dress, it's about 5 1/4. So I'm going to use my die cutting machine and cut these pieces out. I have not peeled the backing from the fusible yet. I just find it goes through the machine. It's a little bit more crisp if you leave the paper on the back. And I'm also going to cut out the wings. It's always so satisfying to pull the piece out from the die cutter. I love it. And there's the wings. I'm going to set this aside. If you're following the Petite Pastels collection, this is the exact same size, shape, and material that I used for the wings in my Petite Pastels stuffed angel. Just like that. I'm going to pull the backing off. I like to sort of score it, kind of like on a name tag. It's a crack and peel. I just find that's the easiest way. And then I'm going to iron this onto my pink felt circle. This is a 6-inch circle. I just drew it with a compass. And cut it out, and then I'm going to sort of try to align it to the center of the pink. Then I'll use my iron to fuse it. Here's how it looks, all fused to the circle. You know, I feel like if you have a die cutting machine, use it, right? If you have a embroidery machine, use it. If you have decorative stitches, use them. Like, try things. It's just really fun. That's part of the fun of sewing and crafting, is to, try the new gadgets. Now I'm going to go around the edge of these scallops with a decorative embroidery stitch from on my sewing machine. I'm going to use the triple blanket stitch, which is one of my favorites, but you can use whatever you like. You could just do a zigzag around the edge if you liked, but remember, this is a raw edge, and even though it's fused, it's a little bit vulnerable to, coming loose. So I'll get that done. I'll be right back. So this one's done. It didn't really take that long. It took me about 10 minutes to get all the way around. And now, as long as I have my machine threaded with pink, I'm going to fold my wing piece in half and pin it. And then I'm going to do a decorative top stitch all the way around the edge to hold those layers together. It's a triple straight stitch. So it just looks like a straight stitch, but it's nice and thick. And I'll get that done and I'll be right back. Here's my wing piece ready to go. And then this will actually make 2 dresses. So I'm going to cut it in half. Right along there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then I'm going to fold this along that cut edge, matching up the scallops here. Right sides together. And then I will pin and stitch along this edge. Now when I sewed up this edge, I was certain to backstitch a few times at that top, because when I trim and turn it, I'm going to cut through there. Now I'm kind of using a lot of force to get that point all the way through. And then I'm actually going to use these pointy scissors, but I'm going to use them gently. So that that point is nice and sharp at the top. And then I actually have to cut that. So just a tiny little bit of space there, just a little. You don't need much. And now we will assemble the angel. This is a 16mm head bead. I have already created the face, and you can find the instructions for the face in my Focus on Faces video. And I also have some 6-inch tulle and my 1/16 inch satin ribbon. This is about ½ a yard. And then I'm going to do 2 lengths of tulle, each one about 12 inches, which is plenty. I'm going to fold that in half and then tie it off in the center with my satin ribbon. And then I'm going to put these ribbon ends onto a needle. This is a very dull needle. This is a tapestry needle, so the point isn't sharp at all. And then I'm going to pull this through. I like it if the tulle can come through the opening a little bit and it can fill the hole in the bead, but if it doesn't, that's okay too. I'll tie these off, but this isn't really important. And then I'll tie an overhand knot up here at the top. There we go. So we have the hanging loop, the head, the dress, and the tulle. I'll trim these. And I'll trim the tulle. You can see there's plenty of extra tulle. And then in the back right here, I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue, just a little. I'm adding the glue because I don't want the head to be wobbly, but I don't want to add too much glue because I'm going to be sewing through that, sewing my collar through that, and I don't want to have a big glob of glue in the way. Now when I'm centering the head, I like the scallop to be right in the front center like that, but you don't have to. You could put this part in the center if you like. I just like the dip here. All right, time for her collar. Did I say this is a 16mm head? I hope so. It's smaller than my usual size. This is for the Petite Pastels collection, and everything's just a little bit smaller. This is 12 inches of lace for her collar, and it's 3/8 of an inch wide. I'm using a doubled strand of this button and craft thread. on a nice long needle, and I'm just going to gather up the top edge of the lace. Fold it under about 1/4 of an inch, and then I like to loop through like this. There's a knot in the end of my thread, of course, to secure. And then I can just do a running stitch all the way to the end. There we go. Then I'm gathering that up, and I'll place it around her neck and secure it in the back. I'm distributing the fullness of the gathers. That looks good. And so I'll tie it off. There will be wings back here, so I don't have to be super careful and neat, but I do want to be sure that this is secured. That looks good. I've designed this to be shaped like a cone, but you could also sort of shape it more flat if you liked. All right, let's do her hair. I'm really liking these 2 strands of yarn work together as one. One is a loopy mohair and one is sort of a fuzzy mohair. So I'll wrap around my fingers in a figure 8, holding this end here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then wrap around the center and tie it off. There we go. Then I'm going to trim those. I'll do it one more time. We need 2 bundles. Okay, so first I'm going to hold the ends here and then wrap 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then cut this nice and long and take the top piece and go all the way around. So you're making a complete circle all the way around. Hold that with my thumb. Pick up the first end and tie this together like this. 1, 2, a square knot. And then trim out the extra. So I have 2 bundles. And since I'm working with 2 strands of yarn, which makes it really fun and interesting, I actually have 8 loops on each side, 8 and 8. So we'll start with the back. I'm going to squeeze out some glue on the back and then press the first bundle onto the back of the bead. I'm always generous with the glue here because I want every strand to be stuck, securely stuck to the bead. There we go. Okay, we see we have a rogue piece there. Let's press that in. Great. Now for the front, I need to be a little bit more careful and precise. So I'm going to start by squeezing out a little glue right here in front of the ribbon and in front of the hole in the bead. And then this center of the bundle gets stuck right there. I'm going to hold that for a second to secure. And then each side gets twisted to the back and then pressed into the glue on the side of the head. So twisted to the back and then pressed into the side. So I need a line of glue from here to here, just straight down, like that. And then twist toward the back and press it into the glue. That looks good. The bottom doesn't stick into the glue, but it does sort of have a shape. It folds toward the back, and I like that. Then again, I'm going to add a line of glue right here. And then twist this toward the back and press it into the side of the head. And just shape that into a hairstyle. That looks adorable. Great. Let's add the halo. So I have some 20 gauge gold wire and some wire cutters. I just need, you know, maybe 1.5 inches of the wire, which I will shape around my thimble to make a U-shaped halo, like that. I will add a little bit of glue to each end and then press that into the hair. Now I want to add a little bit of decoration. I want this to look like it's part of the collection, the Petite Pastels collection. And so I like to repeat some of the elements. Like, of course, the fabric, and then this gold twine I've been using. This is golden white baker's twine. I'm just tying it into a bow. I think that looks about right. Then I'll lift up the front of the lace collar and I'm going to glue it right under there. That looks good. And then I'm going to tie each streamer into an overhand knot quickly before they start to untwist. That looks good. And then I like to add a little decoration here. Sometimes I'll use one of these flowers, but I just wanted it to look a little bit more vintage. Here we go. So I'm going to add one of these little lace flower appliques. And the reason that I like this is because it's a different color. It's different from the white of the lace or the front of the fabric or even the hair. It's a little bit more texture. There we go. So I'm going to just glue that to the front like that, right to her lace. And then finally, I'm going to glue the wings to the back. This looks really good. I can't even tell which is the front and which is the back, but you remember that you're going to put the glue on the front of the wings, if it makes a difference. Just sort of a little penny smear of glue, and then press that into her hair on the back of her head. Or you can put it lower if you want to. This is just like, you know, what looks good to me. And she is done. Easy, fun and easy. The thing that takes the longest is just doing that decorative stitch around the edge of the scallop. I don't think she's going to lay flat, so I think I'll hold her like that. Thank you for watching my tutorial. If you're enjoying my videos, please like, share, and subscribe.